You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net, as well as other locations as well. Good evening, Tamara. How you doing?
I'm all right. Tired, as usual, because it's Wednesday, and I'm always a bit tired.
Right.
So
doing shift work like that and changing mid-stride and everything like you do every week. That can really mess your internal clock up, doesn't it?
Well, I worked nights for years, really.
I know the feeling.
And I worked as a taxi cab dispatcher for years too, and I worked the night shift there.
Mm-hmm.
I did the McCain's thing. I worked 2 days and 2 nights, and those were 12s. So you'd work 2 days, have 24 hours off, and then go back and do two more 12s at night. So I'm kind of used to working like nights. This is kind of midday to 10 o'clock at night, and then I got to be back at the store for 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's like you don't even get like a full. There's like barely time to sleep. You know, you get home, you have to eat, sleep, and then get back there, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
It's a bit, but again, I'm not the only one that does it. The owners of the store do it too. So that's just because there's only us. So it's okay. I'm probably never going to get used to it. I'm just always going to be. I catch up Thursday, like Friday, I feel better. And then Saturday, I'm exhausted and I lay around all day. And then I got to go back to work on Sunday.
Work.
Yeah, that's pretty much
well, I see you posting pictures and stuff and about some of the products like double and things like that. I don't know what that was. That shaving? Was it? No, it was whipped cream and coffee stuff.
Cold foam cream.
Oh.
Yeah, you just like it is. It's like whipped cream, and you put it on top of your coffee, and then it just kind of like melts into your coffee. So then your cream's like, but you get a little bit of whipped cream on you. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I think I've seen that stuff on commercials.
Yeah. But of course, it came into the store. It's new. I gotta try it. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess you can buy coffees there. You got a coffee counter?
No, we actually just have a Keurig, like a one serve, which we do. Like it's a coffee counter, and then we do have the machine that's got the.
Right.
Well,
should have a can there. It's a sample can. And say, hey, try this. If you like it, buy a can.
Yeah. We don't get enough people coming in for coffee, though. That's the thing. We really don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, you never know. Maybe this stuff will.
You never know. I have a great idea. I haven't told them yet, but I got a few ideas. But it's their store, right? So I just kind of have to keep my ideas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How was your week? I heard you were at an event.
Yes. Before I get to that, though, I want to bring up something. Yeah, I want to bring up the passing of Neil. Before that, as we saw, and we all read on Facebook, that Neil Magson passed away, and a lot of people will miss Neil. He was there for a lot of people, and he helped a lot of people, especially when it came to his the cannabis substitution program, helping people that really needed it every day. And he was there.
How it even started, because like he was pretty much homeless, living in his van on the streets of downtown Vancouver, and he saw the need, right? And because he was smoking in his van, people would smell it and they'd ask, like, hey, where can I get some of that, right? So it kind of like, that's how the birth of that kind of became, because Neil's had some pretty down on his luck times himself. He really had. Like, I mean, I knew him pretty well because we had done the first Freedom Tours with him.
That's when I met him, was during the first Freedom Tour. I gave him a ride to a friend's place and pick up some meds while we were in Toronto.
Yeah.
During that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And we picked him up in Medicine Hat and he stayed with us in Tabor. And then he was doing another freedom tour and he came up to Coronation and stayed with us at the farm. And then he stopped in here a couple times. He was going back and forth to like, somewhere to do something with Jerry Martin at one point in Saskatchewan. And then there was another time that he was also in Saskatoon at the Medicinal Harvest Cup of Jeff's. And we weren't able to go to that cup that year. So he stopped in here on his way and then him and Roxanne stopped on their way back. So, it's always, anytime he was in the area and he knew he was always welcome to come, he always stopped. So, like I said, it's pretty devastating, honestly. Like it's been pretty, try not to, you know what I mean? But yeah, this one, like I said, we've lost quite a few people, but I don't think I've known as well as I knew me, right? So
yeah, I don't know. Is it all because we've known of each other for so long that that we just got to that age?
Yeah, that's true. Like none of us
right?
are that, right? Like
like if we don't meet each other until we're 40 or 45 years old, within 20 years time, we're
because I was 37 when I started this whole role. I was 2007. I was 37.
I was 41 when I got diagnosed. So since I'm gonna say like 40, basically 41, 42 when I got started in this. And
well, I was flipping through pictures of Ottawa, like the last time because we had Allison on our show,
right,
last week, right? So I was flipping through some stuff. Yeah, sorry.
That's time
together.
I know,
right? Our time out there, and because we were at Parliament Hill, and there was pictures of Sam Malachi, right? And Sam's gone now too, right? And then I was like, a picture of Caleb and Haley together, and Haley was 15. Now she's 31, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's just like time just kind of keeps marching on.
Yes. Oh, I got
so many people along the way, and it's just
Gail.
Gail,
I've got pictures of her with Ted up there on the MMPR protest rally that went on in Ottawa.
When I first met Gail and Ted, it was in Toronto, and Gail was dressed up as Wonder Woman.
They
had their own booth, and Ted had just written, I believe it was Hempology 101, and I believe that they're talking, and promoting the book and everything else. Gail's tea was just something that knew that they were starting, right? So, and that's the thing, like, you can go back over time of how many people, like Alan Robin Baressa, right? We met them first in Ottawa. Right? Like,
I know there is a lot of people who have passed, and it's sad.
Saying their names and keep saying their names and keep their memories alive.
Exactly. So I'm here with Michelle,
Exactly, right? Exactly. As long as we keep doing that, they're always with us. And that's the only way I can kind of handle it anymore is because there's so much. Because I lost my best friend to cancer not that long ago either. Derek Campbell. My dog not that long ago. So there's been so much lately. It's just been like, and now Neil's gone. But to be fair, I'm gonna burst everybody's bubble. I've known that Neil's been sick for a really long time. This is not something, and I was told a long time ago, and I was told not to say anything. So I didn't. That was what I was told to do, right?
Well, that's what he asked for.
Right? That's exactly it. So this is something that, but as I look at it too, he did this on his own terms, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he and he knew, and he gave a lot of messages. And
he worked and worked until he couldn't. Like he was doing that substitution program every day until he couldn't.
Yeah. It's up to the person whether they want to let anybody know. some people only want to let certain people know. They don't go completely public with it. I had Sandra Petit. A lot of people, including myself, didn't know she was sick, and then next thing you know, she was gone. Right?
Yeah, and I knew she was sick too.
Yeah.
I had known about that one too. Like I said, sometimes, and it's really hard sometimes for me to be, holding these secrets from other people that I know would want
Mm-hmm.
to know, but when people say it in confidence, you just don't, right? And it's unfortunate, and I feel terrible after. But again, like it's just like even with Marie Tripp, like that
Yeah.
was really fucking hard too,
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that was totally, completely unexpected, and
right? Like she
like,
was in the hospital and she was gone. I was just like, what the fuck, what? Like,
yeah, and it wasn't the reason why she went into the hospital.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So so things can happen.
infection got her, and
Yeah.
happened there, right?
And it happens that quick sometimes too, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you already got if you already got pre-work conditions too, like let's face it, we're all
Mhm.
medical patients. We all have something
Well, yeah,
life going on. And that's how we all know each other because we all use cannabis as a medicine, right?
especially
So
yeah, and especially if you've got an immune issue, somebody was, it can just, if they've got cancer or any other immune, like you've got your rheumatoid arthritis,
yeah,
right? And as well as other issues when it comes to the autoimmune. But
right.
yeah,
And you too,
we
like even Crohn's is an autoimmune too, right?
yeah.
So, and in hindsight, with the medications that we take out, a common cold could kill us if we don't take care of
Well,
ourselves.
I got sprung with some news today. Yeah, and once I started thinking about it and started looking and studying it, I was like researching, I should say. I was really a bit surprised, and basically, um, the test isn't conclusive, and it's not cancer, okay? But I may have a cholesterol problem, so that would be like a yeah, like a
Yeah,
artery
yeah,
heart condition, right?
yeah,
So that has to deal with cholesterol. Okay, so as you know, Crohn's disease, right?
yeah. Yeah.
I have a very limited diet. So I did some research on what foods are high in cholesterol. What foods actually can help reduce cholesterol, and as well as beverages and stuff. And some of the things that they recommend doing, such things as exercise.
I was gonna say you can start walking, but you're pretty active
I,
now. Like that's the thing you
yeah,
have to.
correct. I walk the dog twice a day, plus my own regular walking. And as you know, I'm situated on 44 acres of land over here, so there's room to walk around, and I do it to be able to go to different spots within the property that I need to
Yeah,
go to.
right.
Yeah, and then so then when it comes to diet, right? Okay, fatty foods. You always, as some people have said to me, well, you might think that I was obese. Well, like I hit 137 pounds, like, and so I'm not in anything to do with that. And then so we looked at my food, and I actually went to the products themselves. Okay, but I eat a pretty steady diet. Almost the same thing for breakfast, same thing for lunch, and we've learned a gazillion different ways to cook chicken for supper.
Right. It's something that you can digest and not give you grief, right?
Right.
You have
Yeah.
to be creative. I understand.
And so, like, everything was listed had 0 milligrams of cholesterol other than frozen yogurt ice cream. It's not even ice cream, it's frozen yogurt. That had some in it. Wasn't a
Yes,
lot.
genetic thing? Like, is it genetic? Do you have anybody in your family that had high cholesterol?
No, no.
So
Now,
there's nothing out of your diet.
like the test that they did, okay, it was a cat that they did a CAT scan, and the nurse and the specialist who I talked to today, they told me that this test is nowhere near conclusive. We have to do further tests. This is just that something shows up. So there's something there. They don't know severity or whatever.
Isn't that usually a blood test too? Cholesterol, and is it like a hard?
Well, yeah, they did. They did a blood test. Yeah, did a blood test, did a heart test, all that stuff. Yeah,
and it's showing up on the
my number. Yeah, according to the nurse today, my numbers are good. So it's more like they're baffled because my numbers are so good. They're baffled by the results of the CAT scan.
Yeah.
So
maybe
this
the
is
CAT scan's wrong.
Correct.
Because that's a possibility. The CAT scan's wrong.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what they said to me. They made sure that I was well aware of that.
Usual. Like Al, like I said, the lab told us that Taven, was going to have spina bifida, and they sent us on a wild goose chase to Calgary for a 3D ultrasound to find out there was nothing wrong with him. And then the lab had the wrong week of the blood test. So it was the blood test was at 15 weeks, and they had tested at a certain different week in the pregnancy, and it came up too high on something in the weeks, and that's what.
Okay.
The lab had screwed up the blood test.
Oh, okay. Well, mine was only done like 8 days before I went in today. And they wanted it done 2 weeks before, but due to scheduling situations, that became hard. But it was my results are new, and so even though even though it's not conclusive, I'm looking at it as something. Maybe it's a first sign, it's a warning shot. Something for me to look into because I've never really looked into that, right?
Odd, like it just seems odd because
that's what I was just saying to me.
Crohn's disease, you don't need anything that you shouldn't, and especially if your blood's good, nothing's got any cholesterol in it. So where would you even be consuming the cholesterol to build up?
Well, that's why we went around and read all the labels and
cholesterol in, right? Plus cannabis also got cholesterol from consuming cannabis.
Yeah.
That's,
they say for red meat, I don't eat any beef, and I stopped eating beef because of the Crohn's, not because of any other reason. And then pork, I've just sort of occasionally I'll have some pork ribs or something, like once every few months or month or something like that. But no red meat other than that, really.
Do you eat lots of eggs?
See, that's the thing. I do. Now, they talked about 1 to 2 eggs a day is fine. So I took that as an average. Okay.
Yeah, it should be fine.
I have like 2 eggs a week.
Then that's not it. Like that's not even a lot. Like 2 eggs a week is nothing. Like that's on average. Like I said, most people eat an egg a day. Like I'm finding that out more and more that people are using eggs as protein because meat is
they said very nutritious, very nutritious.
People are eating eggs
250 milligrams
because 120 grams of salami or lunch meat is $7 or $8, right? Or you can have egg salad for and you can buy a can of tuna for $5, which is fucking ridiculous too. But again, like that's like people are looking at standards of like what they can afford and what's people are eating a lot of eggs these days. I see people on a daily buying a dozen eggs a day and eating them.
Oh, really?
Sandwiches for lunches for their kids. You know what I mean? Because
I said be a bit of a concern.
A tub of bologna's $12 out. We used to be like 99 cents. Nobody ate bologna.
Yeah, it's and/or may contain. That's bologna, isn't it?
Hot dogs for lips and asshole, right? Like we all.
Yeah.
These lips and assholes are like $11 for not even for 5 of them.
Yeah. Well, that's processed, ultra processed. Yeah, no sausages for me, or hot dogs.
You know what? Unfortunately, I have to push off on the kid every once in a while because I'm at work, and it's easy for him to come home and boil a hot dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know. I enjoyed them too. Like, hey, I love the hot dog that was cooked so much that it split down the middle and you could cover it in onions. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't like mine boiled, right? I'm not a boiled girl. Like mine are gonna be fried in a frying pan, right?
I like mine barbecued.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I mean, a bit of char. But this is in the wintertime when you don't have the barbecue. Well, that's a lie because we have the barbecue in the wintertime too.
Yeah. Just a lot of people don't use them in the winter. That's all.
We do.
Yeah. But I enjoyed those things. They were good.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I can eat red meat. I don't have a problem with red meat at all. For me, it's the pasta and the rice and all the filler stuff. Mm-hmm. That is what kills me. I can't do pasta. Rice just shoots right through me. Well, but I think I can do the beef because everything does shoot right through me.
Right.
And the beef's harder to digest. It seems to absorb, you know?
We do eat pasta. And there was something to do with pasta in one of the articles I read. And I'm just trying to think of, I don't know whether it was, no, this is the stress test article. Yeah, I don't have it. I've reused that tab. But yeah, there was a spot there.
Stress.
What's that?
Speaking of stress, my boss brought me a whole bucket of squishy mates today. Because
that's those balls? I see some people.
They're little animals. And they're squishy. And you squish them in your hand and they're soft and just like they're supposed to relax you. And
would that be like a fidget spinner? Yeah, it's just something else. It just keeps.
You just keep squishing it in your hand. Yeah. Like a stress ball. You know the stress balls. That, you know what I mean? So it's like a stress ball, right? You sit there, but it's like and they're all little animals. So my Harris comes in today with this bucket. He goes, me and Heather figured you were pretty stressed out, so we bought you this bucket of squishy animals. It's like packed full. It was brand new, never been opened, right?
Yeah. Oh, what am I looking at?
So apparently I'm stressed. That's how you know how many of these I need. You know, I work in customer service with a bunch of jerks every day. So yeah, he bought a bucket for himself and a bucket for me. We'll be sitting at work going like this. We're not killing customers.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I hear you're not getting tipped for doling out money. Yeah. No one shows they're winning.
You get zip at the counter, but the girls at the casino make good tips of hair. But yeah, no, especially when you I opened the door at 8:00 this morning. And seriously, at 20 after 8, this guy come rolling in with his Keno tickets.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, sure, like whatever, right? He goes, yeah, this kind of cash is early in the morning, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can arrange that. Yeah, not a problem. Well, the other, I don't want to hear, anyway, the story about how the other place didn't have it. And, and yeah, I gave him his money and he grumpily walked out the door. And I'm thinking, you just want a pile of cash? Do you think you would be happy? I don't know. Anyway.
So on the cholesterol thing, we haven't got a clue. We're all sort of
that's
going like I mentioned, maybe I'd have to remove some things from my diet that I thought that would be a bit of a concern that I've been able to get to eat when I couldn't eat in the past, but when I checked the nutrition label, it said 0 grams on basically everything I ate. So, now what about sugars though? Would sugars deal with cholesterol? I don't add sugar to anything. Like I don't drink coffee, so I don't add sugar to that. I don't add sugar to.
It's got nutritional facts on it. I don't know what's nutritional about a bottle cap, but apparently they got nutritional facts on them.
None.
It's got 2% iron, 10 milligrams of calcium, 0 fat, 4 grams of carbohydrates, 13 grams of sugar. No shit. No protein, 15 or 60 calories per how many pieces.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say anything about cholesterol.
It must
Is
not be.
cholesterol
What did you say they were? Bottle caps? Isn't that a candy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things was to avoid sweets.
Well, I'm supposed to avoid sweets too, but I'm not
Yeah.
really right now. I need to add the sweet to me, or I'm just a kind thing. It's
Mm.
something to do with my attention deficit lately. I'm craving sweets like terribly. So
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking though, isn't cholesterol something your body makes because of the way it's processed in your body? Like, how does
Yeah.
that work? How do you get cholesterol?
Cholesterol is from foods you eat, such as eggs and let's see, fried foods, coconut oil.
But your body has to manifest that, right? Or
Now our body, we need cholesterol. Don't get me wrong.
right.
Yeah, we need cholesterol. That is needed.
Well, you don't smoke. You're not an
Well,
alcoholic.
see, that's what I said. That's what I said to them today, and
See, that's what I thought. Like,
and because they asked me if I smoked, and I said no, and then I said, but I said I am a licensed medical patient, and I've been smoking cannabis for medicine since like 2003. So
do you think that would be a contributing factor?
well,
There's
they
no
have
study or research to even say anything else. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
how can you even go back to reference if that would be a possibility? Like, not trying to get like I'm not saying it is, but there's no research done on any of this stuff to say, hey, this guy's got high cholesterol, doesn't smoke tobacco, but he's been smoking cannabis. Now we got high cholesterol.
Well, I agree. There could be no research whatsoever on that end of things because there are obviously differences between the products. Now, as far as they say here, worst foods for high cholesterol. It says red meat, like beef, pork, and lamb, as well as processed foods like sausage.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Sure.
Full fat dairy like cream, whole milk, and butter. Now, the odd time we might throw a little bit of butter in our beans or something like that, or
Yeah,
asparagus.
I know you eat because you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, like because of your colitis or your Crohn's disease.
Yeah, baked goods and sweets.
I just googled this.
Yeah, did you?
And cannabis use will lead to high cholesterol. The study suggests there's a study. Cannabis use could compromise RCT, leading to high cholesterol levels. A 2013 study looked at 30 cannabis smokers and 30 non-cannabis smokers. Researchers found that the cannabis smoker had a lower plasma good cholesterol, but similar bad cholesterol than the control group.
Yeah, because there is good and bad cholesterol.
Right. So, the
nicotine. They said similar. You said similar results as the control group. So it means it didn't affect it in.
No, it did. They're saying that the 30 out of 30 cannabis ones that did and one that didn't, one that were non-users, right, and ones that were, right?
Yeah.
So that 2013 study looked at 30 cannabis smokers and 30 non-cannabis users.
Right.
Researchers found that the cannabis smokers had lower good cholesterol, lower plasma HDL good cholesterol, but similar bad LDL cholesterol. So lower levels of good and about the same of bad.
Yeah, I read that there are those different cholesterols, the good and the bad ones. And
well, that's exactly it. Like you need to have some cholesterol in your diet, which is what the good cholesterols are, right?
Right.
And then we've got the CBD, has been shown to improve cholesterol through its ability to regulate lipid uptake and blood pressure. But then again, where's that? That's coming from a Riverdale Village clinic. Because in some states, let's face it, we might not have any studies in Canada, right? But cannabis medical has been legal in some states for quite a long time, and I'm believing that there's got to be some studies done somewhere, even if we're not doing them in Canada, to find out about things.
We got a question. We got a question from
Right.
Mr. Frost.
And Mr.
He
Frost,
yeah. He wonders, was their diets the same?
well, that's a very interesting question, right? Because again, like this, like I said, this is just a Google search, so we can actually go, and this is on Healthline, so I'll click the link. Cannabis affects the endocannabinoid system, visible network that regulates blah blah. CB1 receptor is part of the endocannabinoid system. Among other functions, the CB1 receptor regulates and reverse cholesterol transport, RCT. RCT is a process when your body regulates your cholesterol levels, removing excess cholesterol and transporting it to the liver. A 2020 study examined RCT in 19 chronic cannabis users and 20 non-users. The study suggested that chronic cannabis users could compromise RCT, leading to high cholesterol levels. A 2013 study looked at 30 cannabis smokers and 30 non-cannabis smokers. Researchers found that the cannabis smoker had lower plasma HDL good cholesterol, that's where I was quoting from before, than the control group HDL, LDL cholesterol in association with negative health outcomes. This research has limitations. Both studies were small, and there aren't enough studies there's not enough studies to have a conclusion. In other words, there's too little research to verify whether cannabis is good cholesterol or not.
Yeah. I think without mentioning that the food was controlled.
Again, right? Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. And they did a 2019. What about CBD and cholesterol? Similarly, there isn't a lot of research on CBD and cholesterol. Yeah. A 2019 study looked at the effects of CBD on mice. So again, the mice in the study had liver inflammation induced by a high-fat, high-cholesterol diet. The study showed that CBD alleviated the liver inflammation caused by the high-fat cholesterol diet in mice. However, this doesn't mean that
there's always a but.
Right? Reducing mice overall cholesterol. Also, experts need to replicate the study with human participants. So they're not discrediting the benefits that it showed in the mice. No. But they're also saying that they need to do more research on humans. So but this is like Healthline. It's like it's a Google.
Yeah, Healthline. It's a recognizable name. Yeah.
Can we cannabis ratio cholesterol levels? So again, it's Healthline on. You can Google it, I'm sure. So again, that's a good question about the food, because we all know that food and our diet has everything to do with our achieved cholesterol.
Were they active people?
Well, that's the thing. Were they peers on all levels, right? Were they the same age group? Were they the same logistically, like lifestyle? Were they active? Were they not active? That all will be contributing factors to any study that they do, right? So if you got some guy that's 300 pounds, and you got me, it's 80 pounds, and you're going to do the same study, you're not going to get the same results.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, it's good. Never. This is never anything that I'd ever thought of because of because of my diet and all that. And even if they find, I'm going to do a stress test just to wrap this up, so I can go to a commercial. I'm going to do a stress test. So I'm going to go on the treadmill, and they're going to speed that treadmill up and down and everything. Put me through a battery of tests while I'm on it. And that's, I guess, is a big determining factor. So
looks like you're going to be getting some squishies though.
All right, off the break we go. When we get back, we're going to discuss what I did yesterday. Other than that, you're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here, paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area.
Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, we're back. Oh, there you are. I thought,
No,
I couldn't see you in the little picture down there.
My phone. I'm just looking to lean over reading my phone, but yeah.
Just one thing I want to comment on the cholesterol thing. It says here, the body uses cholesterol to form cell membranes, aid in digestion, convert vitamin D in the skin, and make hormones. So just in case anybody was wondering, because we said that cholesterol, we needed it, right? So that's what I caught over the break. So, all right. And now, yesterday, what I did yesterday, I went and sat in traffic for 3 hours.
Right.
Twice.
One way, right?
on the way to the Grow Up Conference and Expo that was held at the Delta Marriott Conference Center in Toronto, right near the airport. I was. I don't know if you've ever seen the post on Facebook that says the widest highway in North America is Toronto, 22 lanes wide. I believe I was in that location, and it was a sea of cars. It was huge. I just thought, holy fuck, there's so many of them. But besides the traffic, the location-wise, getting there was great. I didn't have to go down any other arteries or highways. It was basically right. Yeah, it was like quarter mile, 2 lights from the 401.
Oh, that's great. So easy access. So that was like as stress less as possible. Oh, that's great, Al. Yeah, because there's nothing worse than being caught in traffic and then have to go and set up for a show and do some live stuff and be all professional, right? Because that's what you're coming. You're coming in as media, right?
Right. Yeah. And wanting to gotta get there early before the show starts, so you can get everything all set up and get things tested and review things. And we got started right on time. At the expo, and got to go around, walk around, and at first we did 3 segments. We went 90 minutes live, and then took a break, and then went live again for 90 minutes, and then took another break, and then went live again, And throughout the day, at the first segment, we walked around and showed different things inside there. Just sort of talked briefly to people, but wanted to be able to make sure that we were able to cover everything. When I say we, I should refer to that's Al Rapp. He was running the board way up north, being it's a 13-hour trip to Toronto. That's not something you're going to drive to for the weekend or for a day anyways. And now it's Tuesday. And then MJ and Timmy from Newbie and the Doobie, they were there as well, helping us, working together to cover everything. And during the first segment of the videos, Mary Jane, people may not realize that Tommy Chong was at this expo, and in the past, Mary Jane got to meet him in 2018 at another event, and she presented him with a shadowizer while they were there. So this time, she presented him presented him and gave to him as well to Paris, his son, a shadowizer bubbler. Nice. Yeah. Oh, and
that's great.
We passed that on to them, so now they got the new the version, a good version with the bubbler on it.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, and she talked to him about it. Her visit with him back in 2018, and she reminded there was something to do with, he asked her a question, and it had something to do with sucking and blowing. I don't know. You gotta, as far as inhaling smoke, right? You have to watch the video to see.
I first met Tommy Chong back in Calgary, and what year is it? 2008, 2009. It was my first trip, my second trip to Calgary up to, he had a tour up going on up there. And there was none of that going on. In fact, I was helping a little guy in a wheelchair try and get to the table because the place was packed. But again, it was a little meet and greet. It wasn't like I got to hang out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's awesome. Anytime you get a chance to interview Tommy Chong or be around people like him, and who was the other celebrities there? Can I say it out loud, or you wanna?
Oh, go right ahead. I've got I got some names here on the list. Go through them.
That would be one of my dreams, but Jose and Ed Rosenthal. If I could meet Ed Rosenthal in person, I would be in heaven.
Okay.
Because he used to have a page before we were legal, and he wanted people to send their pictures to him growing their weed. And I didn't know you can see my eyes coming through the leaves.
Oh, I wish I had known that. Because if I had known that, I would have told him when I interviewed him. I got to interview him on Tuesday. Awesome. Yeah.
That would be so awesome. But yeah, like I said, he had that website. So I was going, and yeah.
And then I didn't interview this guy, but I did get to sit beside him for a while. And that's Jorge. Yeah. I got to sit behind his side, and I got some pictures of them up on the stage. It was called the Legacy. It wasn't all Legacy, so there's a name behind it. Oh, it's probably on my photos.
That's a pretty high-end event, because those speakers would have cost the organizer a fair penny to bring them into Canada.
There was.
That would have not been a cheap couple days for the organizers. That's for sure.
All right. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, Ed Rosenthal. It's called the Super Panel. There we go. Okay. So it was Mila Jansen, Jorge Sevre, I can't pronounce his name. Sure. Ed Rosenthal, Chris Crombie, Alexander Carthay, and Dr. Singh was the moderator. And it was called Super Panel, Then, Now, and Beyond. So obviously there's a mix of people at different things. Right. And Yeah, there was some good things said, and there was a lot of applause when Ed had his but they were up there for a while, so I know during one of his times with the microphone that he got a loud round of applause. You know, not only was there seating there, but across the back, because the stage was sponsored by High Tide, which was a laboratory company. But I think Green Planet must have had something to do with it, because there was Green Planet product bags. Okay, now think of their products. They were labeled on a big bean bag, is what these things were like.
Oh,
And
cool.
they had them. They had like, I don't know, like 7 of them across the sort of in behind the chairs, and then some off to the side, and people could sit on them. And yeah. So there was, so they were all Green Planet things. But yeah, so Ed Rosenthal was there. I've actually talked to Ed in the past on one of when I was with Time for Hemp, and talked to him back then. But this is the first time I had met him and actually in person. And we talked about his books. When we were there, his newest book that he's just got out as well.
He's a publisher. Like he's got his own publication company. That's his books for her too, right? It's a curtain.
Mm-hmm. And then who else? Oh, I talked to Robert Laurier. He was just on the floor, just because there was there's a award banquet with this that was going on, and there was a lawyers section for lawyers and cannabis advocacy. And so yeah, he was there. So I grabbed him on the floor as he was walking by, and what I found was there was sovereign cannabis there. There was a presentation on the stage on indigenous sovereign cannabis, as well as there were some indigenous companies that were there. So I stopped and talked to him and about that. Basically, and because he's involved in the court cases out in British Columbia and the raids that were going on out there. So I had a big conversation with him.
Because it's kind of disgusting because it's on unceded territory. Like,
what's that?
It's on unceded territory, right? The BC government should have no reign on anything having to do with that. But again, because it's written into the legislation as all of British Columbia.
That's because there was some act, some treaty act or something like that. They signed on this different one.
Well, Washington and Osoyoos have treaties. They have their own reservations. Anywhere that there's a reservation, there's a treaty, there's an agreement, right? Unceded territory is when there's no agreement at all. It's considered, actually, they call it crown land, but in reality, Wet'suwet'en is unceded territory. They call Wet'suwet'en crown land, but Wet'suwet'en is First Nations land first and foremost. That's the difference between unceded territory and ceded territory. So we have the Tanaha and the Akum. There's the Tobacco Plains out here too, and they're all reservations, right? So they are now encompassed in that whole cannabis legislation through British because they do have agreements with the province.
It's nowhere the same as what's going on here in Ontario.
No, totally different. It's going on in Nova Scotia right now too. Hey,
He
was saying they're just popping up like candy shops all over the valley, and it's really kind of starting to upset some people out that way.
Now, I also got the interview on the floor.
Right on.
Nikki Lowen got to speak with her out in the consumption lounge. I ran into her on the floor. It was a smaller venue than some of the places I've been to in the past, so maybe some of the aisles were a little bit tighter. And there wasn't any open space. but it felt crowded in not every spot of the place, but especially when you're walking down the aisles, or sometimes I had to back up and go up the next aisle.
Well, that means there's a lot of excitement. A lot of people want to be there, I guess.
Well, and the thing is it's a friggin' Tuesday at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Well, you gotta remember though, this is industry, right? This is right. This is legal people in the legal market, and they're corporate, so they work Monday to Friday, right? Weekends are for fun. They don't want to shit on them for the weekend. This is all work for them, right? They're probably all getting paid to be there.
I'm sure that, I'm sure that there was, because of the boost, people working, like the boost themselves are part of the work.
Now, marketing and whatever departments,
there was,
all getting that's work.
Not, like there's people there that support, just cannabis legalization in general, and there's people there that support the businesses, and and there was people there who I've seen outside as well as seeing inside that I know that didn't support them, and that was because they were wearing T-shirts. So it wasn't hard to miss, right? And I saw them inside, so obviously nobody stopped them from going in, and I didn't see any. They weren't doing anything disruptive. They just had the shirts on, right? So let's see what else. Oh, while I was in the consumption space, which was too small because there was people outside of it, we were there in the general area.
Were you able to smoke joints or just vaporize? Like
joints? Oh yeah, joints.
Indoor or outdoor?
Oh no, outdoor. The tent, under the circus tent, style tent. Yeah. A Bovida.
Bovida.
Well, see, I said Bovida, and they said Bovida. Yeah. They said we recognize both. So they had a booth inside the lounge, inside the consumption area, underneath the tent. I got like 3 or 4 bags.
Nice.
Yeah, he said take a bunch of them. So I grabbed some, and they came in all different sizes, and I got to see some tin cans, some big cans that they sell that for concentrates. And then what else? Oh, there was another.
This is their stuff too.
Is it?
They
the
Kootenai Cannabis Cup one year, and this is one of their tins, right? And
yeah. There was a tins. This is what I was just talking about, the concentrates. Yeah.
Right. And then you put the little thing in, like their little pot goes in this top piece. But yeah, they sponsored the Kootenai Cannabis Cup too, as well.
Did they?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
I have all kinds of stuff to me. But yeah, so these are boosts. These are different pads that come in some of the legal market stuff too. But I use this all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had I get the hiccups. They had tables set up out there when it for people to sit at, and pre-rolled joints sitting on the table.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they were labeled as far as the strain.
Nice.
Like I seen a post, something to do about how many joints that they had pre-rolled. So I didn't know what it was for, and then I'm sitting there at the table, like we took an 1.5-hour break in between each 1.5-hour segment. So in between segment 1 and 2, I spent probably an hour.
Legislations have really loosened up a lot.
What's
like
that?
I said, I'm starting to wonder if some of the legislations in the provinces are starting to loosen up.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
So or
maybe there's that little nudge, push to test, the legislation and see what they can get away with.
Well, like I said, like it's because even I won that pack at 420, right? That beautiful bunch of cannabis from the legal store, which from the legal store, right? They're not supposed to be able to do any promotional stuff, right? Is what we were told.
Right.
Any advertising, any promotional. And like I said, today when I pulled in front of my store, all the blacked out windows are all open and you can see right into the stores now.
Yeah.
Like, which
yeah, exactly.
Because I come rolling in, like, you know, I go to the same store all the time. I come rolling up, and it's like I'm looking out the window and I park, like, so I walk in the store and I say to the girl, I said, sorry, I'm parked like an asshole. I said, it kind of threw me off with all your windows. Like, what the fuck happened? You know, like, when did this change? Because before,
that's the way it should be.
In there, don't go looking in that cannabis shop. There might be something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
some seedy, like some like adult shop or something. Like somebody's gonna be doing something in a back corner or something. Like, it just, you know what I mean? Like,
what other flower or plant do they prevent people from seeing, kids from seeing? I can say children from seeing.
Oh, you don't want to get me to.
I don't know of any other plant that they prevent children from seeing.
Here's my rant about the lottery. You know how cannabis advertising, none, right? Ad packaging, not appealing to children, right? You go into, you know, any convenience store, and there's all these flashy lottery scratch and win tickets all laid out in front of the counter for you, where you come for your candy and all your stuff. And then you got little mommy bringing little Sally in at 5 saying, what ticket should mommy pick? And then you know damn well she's letting Sally scratch that thing at home, right? Meanwhile, would you take your kid into the liquor store and ask him what bottle of vodka you should drink? And would you take little Sally home and say, here, what do you give us a little snip and, you know, at 5? Like, give me a break. But it's not to children, right? We're supposed to be protecting the children. Addiction's addiction. Gambling is the same control board, right? The same control board. Why are they allowed to have those scratchy wins with all the purple colors and shiny shit on them?
Yeah, well, that's like high caffeinated drinks, such like Red Bull, that gives you wings. The description tells you you can get your buzz.
They actually took those off. It's
Did they?
Yep, and actually all their packaging for Red Bull is straight. The color is yellow. They have Red Bull and the flavor, and that's it. They have nothing. They got the bowl on the side. There's no fancy packaging for any of that stuff. Even Monster and even Rockstar. Rockstar is just a star. They're not allowed to do any. But there's also no age limit on those. I got 6 and 7 and 8-year-old and 10-year-olds.
Well, that's what I was gonna get to as well, is the fact that, you know, it is available to anybody to buy. I don't know if there's no age restriction, like you said, on them.
But I will tell them no to a whipping cream can. Like, you know, the whipping cream cans. I will not sell those to anybody without a parent's note under the age of 19. And that's my personal choice, because I know what other kids use it for. We had an alert from the school so that they found a whole bunch of them in the schoolyards, because they use them for whippets, because that's what they can do. They can get high off the first of a whipping cream can. So these kids are buying multiple whipping cream cans, and they go, and they're getting like a crack high out of this fucking nitro or whatever it is, the gas in the whipping cream cans. So I will not sell a can of whipping cream to any child without a fucking note from their parents. And I don't care. You can come.
Wow, this is new to me. So, like, is it only like the first time that you use it that you get that, or is that until all the like you have to spray it, and then pull it back?
Like, it's not a lot. Like, you have, like, that's why they're finding several cans all lined up with, you know, because the kids aren't eating the whipping cream. They're just, and then
it's just sucking the gas out of it.
Yeah. And then, like, the multiple, you know, and these are elementary school yards and elementary school kids' closets. Like I said, we had a 13-year-old die of a drug overdose last week in this town. Fentanyl fucking overdose. 13 fucking years old.
How old? I mean, so what was the overdose?
Fentanyl.
Oh.
And they're saying it was in a lace joint at the skate park.
Oh, that's interesting. The lace joint. Let's hope it's not. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The 13-year-old. So.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. This shit that's going on. And they want to put restrictions on kids being able to get access to cannabis. They're getting access, and then they're fucking. If that's the case,
well, you know,
they get access on the illegal black side of things, and they're getting it, and
they always have. We've always had high numbers of kids accessing cannabis,
right?
And they'll continue to do so.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's just, it's heartbreaking. But yeah.
So, all right. I see it's that time again. Time for us to take another break. And where am I? And we will be back in, I don't know, 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 17 seconds. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. Live here on paceradio.net.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and in the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyndonega.
We have two lines of drinks. One is called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with. And then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And you're watching the Pace Radio Show, and we're live here at paceradio.net. And right now, we're in the process of continuing our talk about the grow up. I kept calling it grow up. I always thought it was grow up, but
I think it was supposed to be grow up, but they probably can't use that because, so grow up was probably what they had to use instead of grow up.
Yeah, because if you cut the top off of an O, it looks like a U, right?
Yeah,
and
so
grow up.
Yeah,
grow up and grow up and grow up can almost sound the same. Depending on
cannabis event to venue that you might not be able to use because it's cannabis. If me using grow up might not have been an option, so grow up might have been their way to get in there. So that corporate, what the fuck was actually going on? Because the guy that runs the hotel was probably cool with it, but corporate might not be. And there's still stigma around that, and that's the unfortunate thing. Like again, because of the non-advertising, that might not be so much the government saying the government's tiptoeing around the fact that there's still lots of people that aren't happy about legalization.
Yeah,
there are still lots of people with lots of money that that don't like legalization.
Oh yeah, Oh,
growers that don't like legalization. There are lots of people that don't like legalization.
sure
Right?
are. Yeah, that's
So
right.
you have. That's where I'm at. I just think that they kind of have to still pussyfoot around.
Well, I
You
look at it as, it's all cannabis law reform before cannabis was legalized and afterwards.
Right.
There's still lots of things that need to be fixed.
Oh.
Talking about things to be fixed, another person, a person who I ran into, but I didn't interview on the show, but did get to talk to, and that was Genoa Cavan. She's she looks after Normal Canada.
Oh, Genoa.
Yeah, Genoa, yeah, and she was past guest on our show, so we had a talk, got an update on the Normal petition that was going to the government. They were required 500 signatures in order to be able to submit it.
Yeah.
And they submitted it with somewhere around about 3,500 signatures when it went in. So it was 7 times larger than what was required.
I know, that's still really shitty numbers, 3,500.
I know that she was hoping. I know they after they reached the 500, she thought it'd be nice to be submitted with 5,000. But they were getting names added to it right up until not to the very end. But she said that the last few days it went pretty quiet. But
it's super unfortunate because they said it statistically said that there was 45,000 licensed cannabis patients in Canada.
Yeah, but
So
those numbers have gone down.
And we had to do that, 5.1, 5.2 question. And when they come back and said that only 600 people responded to that survey.
Oh, yeah.
45,000 patients. That's like a slap in the fucking face to every one of us that has fought so hard to get you that cocksucking license that you got.
I know, I couldn't believe how low those numbers were.
Like, seriously, what is it? 600 people that you and I talk to on a regular basis that are in our community are the only people who be bothered to help everybody else? Like, where are the people when we need them? That's my question. Like, where is everybody?
And there's so many more people that are involved in the cannabis end of things now because of legalization. But I they probably don't come at it as a patient point of view as we do, because that's what we've been fighting for. And
there are some licensed producers that will not touch medical at all. They're strictly
yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. There are some licensed producers that are with medical. I'm not even sure which ones. I think Broken Coast still, Tilray, Tweed, but they're also in the recreational market.
Oh yeah. There are some that are just strictly medical, but yeah, there are few and far between.
I just had to go to the store today and buy some more, and I bought this is the Loud Plug.
Oh yeah, I've had a joint of that. Friend of mine.
This one is Venom OG, and it is 33.2% THC.
Oh, interesting.
I
know. I got one for you too. It's coming up. It's coming. I'm almost there. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, there was a lot of people there. And there was people who I see here and there at different events, and talk to them and have a few words and make my way along. And then there was some people that in the vendors that I saw, and people who I had actually done business with, who I hadn't seen or talked to in quite a while, a couple of years. I use Alias LED lights.
Yes,
yeah. For the 3rd year in a row, top lighting award for
and their prices come down, and they're
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't got a clue. I haven't been to the website, but I did get to talk to them about obviously their products. I talked to them about my experience with their lighting, and why I bought them.
Are they selling to the big producers? Like, are they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They are. They're selling to the big producers, and they're selling to you and me.
So they're selling to everybody.
Telling
But
everybody,
it's
correct.
interesting that the big producers are using LEDs as well, which would save on electricity costs. Let's be fair.
Yeah. And you know, it does reduce heat. I'm not saying they're heat free, but there is a reduction in heat for sure.
Well, I feel like I said, even with those stupid little LED boxes that I use, there's zero heat coming out of them things.
Yeah.
Out of those ones, anyway.
Like, you know, you touch the ballast. It's not stone cold, but it's not. It's not something where you have to worry about getting burned either.
No, like it's like
Yeah.
you just put your hand and leave it on. It's not even like touching a burner.
Yeah.
Like it's warm. Like, you know, like any other electronic, you're like, that's
Right.
why.
Yeah. So I got to talk to Ryan and Landon, the owners of Alias. They are located right here in Ontario.
Right.
The products are all assembled in Sudbury, and which was so it was good. I was glad to be able to see them and see some of the new products. Like like I'm so, you know, big lights. You know, there's like 4 or 5 different rails on them. Whereas this new one was more, they were a grow light, and it was like a fluorescent light, but it was LED. It was enclosed, so it was protected from any humid conditions, and you know, it was an LED light. So yeah, a very, very productive light, he said. And then who else did I get to talk to while I was doing that? This company right here. This is somebody I'd never dealt with before. And
Odorless cannabis. Wow. Interesting. So that means there's no terpenes in it at all, or what?
Well, you know what? I thought to myself, did I ask him that question? Because I know that I asked it before. Like when I saw it, like when the first segment, what we did is we walked around, like I said, and looked at things, and I saw the booth and the big sign, Odorless Cannabis, and that was what I questioned when I was talking to Al as we did the walk around. Like, you know, is this thing terpene free? What's going on? And
smell, no flavor. Like odorless means no taste, no smell.
Well, that's what I'm thinking too. And what I did get, like 8 years of research that they've been researching this, and it is a pharmaceutical corporation. And they're in Brampton. I've just got their notification that went out in the business type thing. Now they say here on the package that, because this is a sample package, they say that pre-rolls are available in 5 or half grams, right? 5 to 10 packs, 30% plus THC levels. So on their notification that they sent out, their press release is the word I'm looking for. They say it's testing one of the industry's most potent cannabis strains at 41%. Lab tested cannabinoid count of 40.59%. Okay. Oh, cannabinoid count at 41. For that THC rating is 35. So it's, yeah.
But what's the terpene?
That's what I'm looking for. They use something called Pure Can technology. It's created with the Pure Can Camco's priority odorless cannabis technology. There is a picture of the certificate of analysis, just anybody's wondering.
They're using ionizers. They're taking ionizers, using it in a room, and making it so that it smellless fucking weed. We did that a long time ago, suckers. It's called ionizers.
Okay. I'm just trying to skip through here, and I'm not seeing I'm looking for the word terpenes, okay? And I'm not seeing. I didn't see anything in this release about terpenes, and
smokeless.
I'm looking into another web page here, but there is advantages to this, and I did talk to him about this, and there is still smoke.
Okay.
It's not smokeless. It's just odorless. And the suggestion is that it would help, for example, in places like condominiums and apartments.
Yeah, driving your car.
Yeah, driving your car. I never thought about that one. Yeah, they have some technology. I'm trying to see if they can find anything. Okay. So the smell.
That's the way to fuck up a dog, drug sniffing dog.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I would think that would be a problem.
Like I said, like, where are you gonna smoke this shit? Oh, in a condo that you can't smoke weed. How about in your car? So was everybody drive around?
So there's no telltale cannabis odor when it's smoked. It doesn't stick to your clothes and doesn't disturb your neighbors. So you got your car calm. They don't mention anything with the car. They say there's a reduced harshness and your favorite strains. Retains its properties as full spectrum flower. No chemicals or additives. It's exclusive technology to this company. I'm just still reading. Still glancing through this, looking for. Oh, okay. Here you go. Pure Scent. This is the technology that they're using. Read that. The process. No, it's natural process. No chemicals are used. It's non-GMO. It's earth friendly, GMP compliant. Yeah, they're not getting into explaining what it is. What the actual technology is. That's why I'm not seeing it yet. Maybe it's somewhere in here.
I'm not gonna tell you.
I'm just not.
I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
No, okay. It's their technology, but there are advantages to it. But is it GMO?
Well, no, I'm not understanding. Like, if it's all natural process, which is fun, I'm saying it's probably an air tagger, like the ionizers that we used to get the smell out of everywhere, right? You ever use one of them?
No, but I know of them.
Okay, well, you've heard about the ionizers, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
I have in the past.
Right. So again, that'll take the smell out of your whole house. You run a few of them. If you lay your cannabis out while you're drying and curing it, that will also take the smell right out of the cannabis. I can't remember what it smelled like.
Would it not smell hay?
I can't remember. To be fair, we're talking like in the 90s. I can't remember, Al, to be honest. I can't remember. That's what I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if the pot stunk when we smoked it. I think it still did. It still had a smell when we smoked it. So probably wouldn't be that. So are they offering different strains? Is it something that you stuff it?
Yeah, from what I'm seeing there, they offer different strains. So I don't know. I did a search on something called Pure Scent, and I'm getting scented candles and things like that in my search. But yeah, I'll let you know how it is. I don't know how many are in here, but I'll find out and I can report back on that and let you know how.
If it doesn't smell.
Yeah, let you know how it smelled, how it was. What's
It
that?
doesn't smell when you smoke it in your house. There's the smoke that you don't want in the house.
You still smoke, correct? So I'm not going to be smoking it in the house.
Right. That's what you know what I mean? Like, just because it doesn't smell, it still smokes. You still wouldn't want to be smoking it in a place it's not.
Well, yeah. Would you? Okay, I can see you get rid of your cannabis smell, but would you get rid of the smell of the smoke?
Well, vape doesn't
So
smell.
would you would there still be smell of like a smoky smell?
That's what I'm wondering about.
Yeah.
Because with a vape, it doesn't.
Could you consume it in a room and then leave and come back in 15 minutes and you wouldn't be able to smell it according to the name of it?
Right? It doesn't stick to your clothes or.
Yeah.
So that means you could just put it out, walk away from wherever, and the stuff's not going to cling to you, because usually it's a smoke that clings to you, right?
They told me, and they say there in their promo that it doesn't stick to your clothes. There's no smell to stick to your clothes. Which was an issue when you didn't want anybody when you don't want anybody to know you're smoking. That's always an issue,
right? But it usually stinks your fingers up and everything. Like, so I can tell who's been smoking. When they come into the store, as soon as they hit the door, it's like, oh, you got some good weed. I never say anything, but it's like, because I don't like. I mean, I used to take my vape pen with me, but right now I'm in a position where we can't afford free lunch, so I can't afford anything. I'm thankful that I got the cannabis that you gifted me, or I'd be like, that's like I can't afford a tip right now. I got one shot at that for this week, and that's it. I got an ounce, and that's gonna last me till who knows when. But yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I've got two things, two quick things to bring up. Got a message is number one, and this one comes from Herman. Herman says, "Love you guys."
Aw, thanks.
Thank you, Herman. Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah.
And thanks for tuning in and watching the broadcast. We've always appreciate people watching the broadcast. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and getting a little chuckle, everyone's
as well as a shout out to a fellow by the name of, I hope I get this right, Mike McNeely, I believe was his last name, McNeely. He came. I met him at the Can Expo. He stopped quickly by the booth where I was at. And then on Tuesday, I had an opportunity to spend some time with him.
Nice.
Yeah, I probably talked to him for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Yeah. It was during the Tommy Tong interview. We were sitting right beside the stage. Yeah. And he thanked me for everything that we do here on the network. He loves our programming. Everything that the shows that we do throughout the week, and he tunes in all the time. So I thought I'd make sure that I brought his name up. And
if you're watching, or if you're going to watch this in the future, we appreciate you.
Yeah. And it was good. It was good talking to him, and I recognized him. But I said to him, I know I've talked to you before. I'm trying to think where. And then I had another fella. I was standing in line to get into Grow Up, and Matt Jerome. He says, he's a past guest here on the show.
I was going to say this. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and he's doing some writing for Fat Nugs magazine out of the U.S. as well. He's got his own consulting business. So he said, "Hi, Al," and I looked at him. He says, "I'm a past guest on your show," and he had his hat on, business hat on. So I looked at his hat, right, and he says, "I'm Matt," and I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know who you are." And so yeah, we had a great big talk, and at the same time, a fellow from the U.S. who was there, he got involved in the conversation, and he showed us his this case that he had that had all different hardware and stuff that you needed for your dabs, like your rigs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And two others that I want to mention in this. I'm just looking for the other person's card, which I'm not.
Actually, that's so funny because when we went to, I can't remember what it was. I think not Harvest Fest, medicinal, Prairie Medicinal Cup. And all the guys had their suitcases with all their dabs and their rigs and all the different kinds of in their little thing. And they rip them open, and it's like.
This is like it was like a little briefcase.
Yep.
Had everything in it.
Everything. Yeah.
Okay. Also,
wireless, like no batteries required, kind of stuff.
I did an interview with a company called MJ Supply Company Limited,
interesting.
and that is because of their new. They had a sign, like anybody who won an award had a sign.
Oh, nice.
And these guys had the sign for the best new product, and it was called the Dab X. And it was something that there was no waste in your dab. No waste. If some people, there's a collection area and stuff like that. There was also a spot that you collected all your stuff, and then you could turn around, and use it in your edibles. There was some recycling thing to deal with it. Unfortunately, I talked to so many people, I can't remember every single thing that
I even had time to even defrag and sit down. And
what I'm gonna have to do is take these interviews that I did and cut them down into smaller segments. And then I'll release them that way. And last company I want to shout out to, and that is, I'm gonna mess this up. Okay, echidna. What it is it's anteater. It means it's an anteater, and I don't know. You can see this little guy right here.
Little anteater, yeah.
Little anteater in my hand. I got him by the nose. Okay.
What is it? What is it used for?
Well, that's their symbol, and that's their name, and what they are is a THC testing product that you get. So they had a table set up outside in the lounge, and you could take your product over, and they would show you how it's all done. Put your stuff in a solution, shake it up, it goes on to some other thing, spinning thing, and then it gets put into on a small little machine with some pickup put into it, and it analyzes your product. And so I had a strain tested because it was free demo, and I just gave him a joint because I pre-roll everything. So I gave him a joint. He just tore the joint apart and had enough and did the test. And it came out to, they did total THC, and then they did a estimated THC delta 9, what it would be. So the THCA came out at almost 24%. And then the other figure, the estimated figure, I'm just looking for the picture. I took a picture of it. There it is. Okay. Total THCA was 23.12%. And the THC converted to THC calculated results was 20.28%.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was a strain I never had tested before, so I couldn't compare it to anything.
Right.
And I told them I would come back and I would get another strain tested because I was carrying 2 strains of cannabis with me. And I have past test results of that done in a lab, done at Legacy 420 twice, and it's been done. It was done through Steep Hill Labs back in 2011, and then I've had Legacy do it since then. So I wanted these guys to do it, and I said I'd be back, and I went back, and I couldn't get in.
What?
And because they had the lounge closed for a VIP, I don't know, maybe I don't know how long for, but it was a VIP session for VIP only because Tommy Chong was in the lounge.
Oh shit.
So that was part of the VIP ticket. You know, that's part of your bonuses, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You're frozen again.
Oh, so are you. Your finger's in your eye.
I know. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell happens here. I know it's my computer. It is.
Yeah, yeah. Now I got a comment from Alexis Fox on LinkedIn. It's not showing up here on my screen to the right. And it says, "Hi guys, I made it." She says, "These are great numbers." Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to read into it further. So what else offhand on that? So yeah, the Testament stuff right there, and you know, like I mentioned, I couldn't get in on the second one. So yeah, that's nice. So I'll just take some down to Legacy 420 and have them test.
For sure.
Yeah, because they do testing down there, and it's a lab. So
well, it's funny because the girl that I had on, and remember we were talking on my last show.
Yeah.
Apparently, the person, this Dr. Bill, has been speaking to Legacy 420 about them doing some testing for him too. So.
Oh well, they have a lab. Yeah, they have a full lab, like this is the same equipment type thing that Health Canada has.
Well, I told her that they couldn't be getting into a collaboration with anybody better, honestly.
Yeah. And you know, all the the terpenes, all that stuff. I took some product down for a friend of mine, and they tested the terpenes and THC and CBD and all that as well. And talking about said friend, we neither one of us knew we were going to the Grow Up conference, so we were quite surprised when we ran into each other.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah, he's the fellow who does the voice tracks here on the network for you're listening to you're listening to Pace Radio Show, but he does like Pace Radio is people advocating cannabis education and so on and so forth. He does all that, so it was funny. He was there, and so I spent some time with him during the second segment, and then I spent time with him on his Instagram account, Mr. Squishy 705.
Right.
And we spent some time with him, talking to him there, and his viewers as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice thing about a lot of times when you go to these events, whether you're planning on seeing people, whether they're just there, right?
Yeah. Some people are just there. They just go there, good time, hanging around with people and seeing others. And this is the first time that the Grow Up was in Toronto. They've never been in Toronto before.
See, I think this is it's kind of good, like because before we'd be lucky if we got one cannabis event a year, maybe two, a couple cups maybe on the way, the Great Glass Gathering or 420, but nothing like. But these big events are happening more and more, and it does help with the stigma. No matter much as we don't like legalization in some aspects, there are some really good aspects to it. And, us in British Columbia now that are taking the brunt of this decriminalization being pulled back from the government, if it would have been done in the same manner, my question is where would they have gotten the safe supply? But they could have started manufacturing or doing something to get it so that there was safe supply when they actually decriminalized or legalized hard drugs. So there wasn't the ability for people to still be being poisoned.
It wasn't running. It wasn't up and running off the ground properly when it got started.
They started. They put the horse before the car, or the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there are things that should have been done prior to just taking the law off and saying, "Here, full reign, go ahead, Buck." Because we've got people like doing it in public. It's pretty bad. Cranbrook's like a small community, but when you got the taco time and you got somebody peeing out in front of our store, which has happened, peeing out in front of the, cannabis store, smoking crack beside the taco time. Like, you know what I mean? That's bad.
Yeah. Some people could, maybe what you're saying is, and others would be saying is,
we're fully supportive of the program, but
Oh.
we want the government looks at it as, or the provincial government looks at it as, we don't want them
We don't want them
doing it in public.
But they should then have safe consumption sites, right?
Correct.
So in hindsight, if they would have decriminalized the legalized market where they could have access to safe drugs, no matter what it is, their drug of choice, they had to go into a store like, a mushroom store, or cannabis store, a crack store, whatever store it is, right? Behind whatever glass, whatever you need to do, whether it's through a prescription, through a pharmacy, whatever, right? And had that lined up, and then had safe consumption sites and housing for these people to be using at, or group home, whatever the case scenario, with some, I don't even know the whole.
Yeah, well,
There are hotels like the Cecil Hotel downtown Vancouver where they're allowed to use. There are actually nursing staff and everything on site, right? So if anybody overdoses, they can get to them and try and reduce that, right?
Now,
So,
2 examples in my area that I think would reflect good on that is what Belleville is trying to do, setting up a facility there to deal with their opioid situation. And then in Peterborough, they've set up a community to help with the housing. And it's, basically people are living in units maybe a little bit bigger than a sea can, or about approximately that size.
Yeah.
And they were in a safe community. Like they're, they are enclosed, and there is paramedics or whatever, accessible, and each person has their own living quarters. It does cost money.
There's that fellow in Ontario that did that little tiny housing, 92 housing, small homes, whatever. Right? Amazing, right? And I've often thought, I think you and I've discussed this, where you take like old oil can or oil field camps, right, where they have bathrooms inside the the rooms and stuff, and they were like because let's face it, not to be disrespectful, but addicts have a tendency to be very unclean, unhygienic, and irresponsible and dangerous. So you don't want to put them somewhere they can burn the place down, burn themselves, harm themselves. Somewhere safe, right? So you'd have to have a place where there was a bathroom, so much, and maybe a communal kitchen, so that everybody was able to be supervised while they're cooking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not just like them, let alone an apartment with a stove and a bunch of things. Depending on the level of addiction they're into, though, right? Like there's people that are quite functional. You can take care of a place. They, they're so you can't cookie cut the situation for anybody.
Yeah, and getting access to healthcare.
And healthcare, healthcare, right?
And the thing is you can't. We tried. The government's tried for years to arrest their way out of this, and it didn't work.
Well, that Stephen Harper did the mandatory minimums, right? And now we're looking at private jails, because in Alberta, Danielle Smith wants to put addicts in jail, right? So they're going to start doing this mandatory minimum, whatever. And private prisons is our fear. Why we have to get rid of these people as quickly as we possibly can and vote them out, and never allow conservatives to be voted in again. We are so close to fascism in this country. It's unfortunate. Anyway.
All righty. That's it. We've got our hour and a half plus in. We always seem to come up with some stuff to talk about. We'll have a guest. Guests are coming. They're not. We haven't cut out guests by any means.
I got a guest for Monday. I'm actually interviewing a legal bud tender, Sammy Montre.
Oh yeah, I saw your post. Correct.
And then, like I said, I had Carmela on last week, so I've had and she was local, lives here in Cranbrook. And then Sammy lives out in Ontario. She's a friend of mine's daughter, and she works in a legal cannabis store. So she's going to come on and give us a little information about what goes on in there.
Good. All right. Other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, as well as Limestone City Hydroponics.ca. And big shout out to them before we go. They sent me a gift package.
Nice.
Yes, and it comes with some matting material, some hemp matting material for me to put the seeds on for microgreens because I'm, cholesterol now. Microgreens are good. Greens are good to
Yeah.
help with. So,
greens on your Crohn's though.
Pardon me, the microgreens. So far, I haven't had any problems with them.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't do a lot of green vegetables. Like it just kind of runs right through me.
Yeah. Okay. And then they sent me a bunch of different seeds, assorted seeds, for me to grow things that I haven't tried yet, as well as a book, a microgreen book on how to grow microgreens.
And how many different types of microgreens are there?
Oh, I haven't got a clue. Lots. I want to find some leeks. I gotta get some leeks. I get those microgreens. I grow them outside in the garden. We planted our garden past weekend, so last weekend,
right.
And got some leeks in there. So I like to find some micro-grown leeks. I understand that they are available. So,
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, big shout out to Limestone City Hydroponics. Thanks again for the fantastic gifts, and we look forward to many, many green harvests. I guess is what you could call them. And other than that, thanks to everybody for tuning in the program. And we will see you all next week. And good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.